Hey! As you probably already have seen, this is not our first glitchless speedrun, but we managed to shave over a minute of time save up again. And today I not really want to show you the run, but I want to focus a little bit more on what we actually do and how you can do it yourself. So no longer talk, just get into it right now. But before we talk about strats, we need to talk about builds. And this part is actually pretty easy. We use two builds with some variations. We use Striker DPS build and we use an healer buff build. It's the typical future buff for future pieces, and perfect opportunistic backpack and a BTSU glove to overcharge. And the second part are the striker builds. The Saint Elmo with Cheska for crit chance and when adds are further away, like in the first area. The buffer with Coyote's Mask, the add damage and the boss damage, where we change for contractors for even more damage on bosses since they have a ton of armor. Also, these are not the best builds, these are the builds we used. You can change them for whatever playstyle better fits you. You already saw it in the video, just as a little reminder how we did it. The turret section is actually pretty easy. We use 4 striker players with Saint Elmo. 2 players are going for the turrets. You can see them in green. They have a decoy and an EMP sticky to stun the turrets and kill it as fast as possible. And 2 players seen in orange that first clear the ads in the first area and then go up the stairs and clear the ads there. There's nothing really special about this area. Just kill the turrets as fast as possible and the ads afterwards. For the tanker, we found it's actually the easiest part to play it with 4 strikers and no healer. I will show you a little of diagram where what player does what stuff. We have player A maining the upside spawn, helping with the spawn in the middle, and whenever something in the downside door spawns, he will go for it. We have player B only doing floor spawns together with C in the middle, but if needed he can help with the door. For example, if we have a double spawn upside on A, then B can go for the door. We have C, we already talked about, it's basically a shared position with B. They're doing all the downstairs work. And then we have D maining the 2 upside spawns and sometimes shooting the stuff on the shared spawn with A. This is only a rough diagram on what's happening. Basically, we are communicating all the time, saying where we have spawns, what ads we maybe cannot get so the others can react. Communication is key in this part. For the drones, we just split up AB on the right, CD on the left, and for the boss, B and C do the last ad clears while A and D already going to the door, 2 rolling behind Moose, and there's a little point where you can kill him without breaking his armor, basically like the Chungas in Dark Hours. All in all, not complicated, just as already said before, communication is key in this part if you want to go fast. The next little running area, not really any difference. We have 1 player, that's me right now, running straight through without killing anything to be at the door as fast as possible, and the others just clearing the ads. No secrets, no speed strats, just going for it. So let's talk about Riot. We will use 3 DPS players and 1 buff player. The 3 DPS players will run the boss damage build with contractors and the buffer will run future. Starting with the easy part, we have 2 ad clears, A and B. They focus on the ad spawns on the 4 spawn points. Important part is that B focus on the upside spawn, otherwise boss damage will be pretty hard to do. Then we have the C player in purple here. That is the buff player. He will turn 2 elves, and the D player, which is main boss damage. We start with D getting aggro from the boss and pulling him to circle 1. Then C can activate the water, and now the magic begins. We do not finish him there. We left a little bit of health. The C player now standing to circle 2, waiting for the boss to come. And only as soon as the boss is in the white area, we will do the final million damage on the boss, so he goes immune. Now is we can just activate the water instantly, and if we do it with the right timing, he does no animation. We can just go into a next damage phase. Exactly the same we will do again afterwards. The D player turning the wealth for the second circle, and afterwards going to the third circle for aggro, while the buff player is turning the final wealth. Then we just burn down the boss. The only buffs we use are Sledge. C player is giving this in round 1 and 3, and D player in round 2. Opportunistic if possible, and a normal scan with the overcharge for 15% amplified damage. And of course, Future. You can skip the second and third ad spawn. If you kill the boss fast enough, you only have to kill the Chunger. But if you don't manage and need a little bit longer, that is actually not really a problem. Just clear the ads, it takes you like 5 more seconds. Depending on if you skip the ads or not, you cannot change the build. But that is not really a problem, because we run the same build anyway. The healer keeps buffing and the DPSler keeps DPSing. First of all, you want to trigger them as soon as possible, because the earlier we trigger the immunity, the earlier they get out of it. We, for now, do not care about the ads. We just go into the middle and damage Martinez to force this drone swap as early as possible. As soon as the drone swap occurs, we will do a ton of Martinez damage. Hopefully everyone used the immunity phase already to stack up their striker to max stacks. We do Martinez damage as long as the Sledge buff is active on him. Only afterwards we are swapping to Johnson damage and melting him down instantly. When Johnson is killed, we swap back to Martinez and kill him. Optionally, already one player can start running around and killing the ads. That's not really a lot of time save, just play it safe. Kill Martinez first and then go for the ads. Other than that, DPS is just Ouroboros straight to the face of the bosses, and the buff player needs to give Sledge and Opportunistic as good as possible and overcharge as soon as the overcharge is ready again from the last boss fight. That's basically it. Now you know all the strats we use to get a 740 time, and if you implement them with your team and play 1 or 2 evenings, you should be able to manage to get at least a sub 10 time. These strats are pretty fast. I know I did not completely talked about every little detail, but more of an overview what we actually do. But I think that is already a lot of information, so more specific stuff, please ask for that if needed. Other than that, share your PBs. Would be interesting to see what all of you are running in Glitchless. And other than that, see you in the next video. Have fun.